Hello, buddy. Welcome back. I'm the Strategy Professor, and today we're doing another coaching session for Books. He's a Gold 2 European West player, support main, and we're going to be looking at a Braum game today. So there's going to be a few different parts of the video. First of all, we're going to look at his op.gg, make some commentary, give some tips about that, talk about the pre-game very briefly, so what I think might happen in the game and just some things to look out for. Then we'll watch the game itself, we'll take some notes, and we'll leave some post-game advice for how Books can improve in ELO. And then at the end, I'll talk a little bit more, but if you'd like a coaching session of your own, it's just a $20 donation. It's a great deal. Make a video just like this for you, immortalize you on the channel, and really help you gain some ELO. And it really helps out the channel too. So everybody who watches really appreciates it. And also for $20, I offer a guide on the topic of your choice. I'll play the champion of your choice on stream, or I'll do a flex game with you on stream with commentary. So if you're interested in any of that, just email me at the Strategy Professor. You can check out the coaching playlist if you want to see other videos just like this with different champions. I've got that ready for you. And then if you want to check out some of the champion guides that I've done in the past, you can see that as well. Let's go ahead and get in here. And you can access this Google Doc if this is the first video of mine that you've ever watched. You can access this Google Doc in the description, and I'll also have timestamps to help guide your viewing. So if you don't have time to watch the whole thing, that's fine. Just watch the parts that interest you most. Okay, so this is the game that we're going to be looking at here. We've got some Braum support action going on. So one thing that jumps out to me right away, you want to try to aim for 5 control wards as much as possible. It looks like you do this in quite a few games. You had 10 here, 7 here. Okay, those are twisted tree lines. There may not even be control wards. I don't know about that. But yeah, it looks like in general you're meeting that threshold. But there's a couple of games where you don't. So just do the best you can. I'm guilty of it as well. Sometimes if I'm really far ahead or elsewise. I mean, if we look at mine, you know, there are some games where I don't quite get to that threshold. But you want to consistently try to get at least 5 in the majority of your games. That one I had 12. But yeah, this is one of the biggest ways to win. And I'll talk about some places where and why you might do that when we watch the replay. But that's one of the largest indicators of really successful support action is buying a lot of control wards and using that to dominate the vision game. So you had 3 here. It's pretty close. It looks, like I said, it looks like you get it most of the time. But try to get to that 5 whenever possible. Great job on the normal wards. You had well over 30. How many did you have overall? I believe... Yeah, 46. Okay, great. Yeah, so you tied their support. It's a pretty long game, 52-minute game, but that's pretty good. You want to try to get, you know, 1 per minute, thereabouts. It depends on how fast you get a forward item and some other factors, but in general, you want to try to aim for 1 normal ward per minute and then 5 control wards per game minimum, and, you know, the more the better, typically. Okay, so let's talk about some of the builds specifically here. Overall, Rune Page looks pretty good for the most part. I like the armor. Magic resist against Karma makes sense. Health yellows is good. Armor, move speed. I might even go for just flat armor. I used to really like that move speed, and I was a major advocate for move speed quints. But the more that I really play and think about it, I think just flat armor is probably better. The move speed is nice. It's debatable. Move speed's fine, but, you know, I think having an extra 9 armor or so is a pretty big deal, especially in an early game lane where you're going to be getting beaten up. Probably. You should get beaten up in this lane by Misfortune and Karma against Ezreal Braum. So we'll see how it goes down, but I think armor might suit you well here. Mastery's overall pretty solid. I would recommend getting Explorer here, 15 movement speed in the Brush and River. This is nice because you are going to get beaten up by basic attacks, but just like 2 less damage every time Misfortune or Karma hits you. That does add up a little bit over time, but I think this is just so strong. Having that 15 movement speed in Brush and River, particularly River, is the important one, because that's going to let you roam and ward a lot faster. So I'm a huge proponent for getting Explorer almost all the time. Especially if you're not going to be the one initiating fights, if you're not going to be the one starting the auto attack trades, which you're not, because you're melee most of the time. Well, you're melee all the time, but you're not going to start fights most of the time in this lane, I don't think. We'll see how it unfolds, but I would definitely go Explorer there, I think. And then... what's the other one? Oh, Courage of the Colossus. Yeah, Courage can be pretty good if you proc those stuns. It just depends. I'm not a huge fan of Stoneborn Pact. It is nice, you know, people do get to heal over time. They don't really have tanks on their team like that. Healing is really nice if you're going to have really long team fights where people can actually land multiple auto attacks and, you know, fights are going to be going on for 30 seconds or so. Maybe not that long, but pretty lengthy fights. That can be pretty good. It can add up over time with some nice healing. You know, if you have 3,000 health or so, and, you know, the fight goes on for 10 seconds, you're going to get 5 ticks of this off, for the most part, with some more on hit, so 2.5% of your maximum health. So, yeah, I mean, people are going to be healing for quite a bit over that time, 300 or 400. Okay. Anyways. It's okay. It's okay. Courage is another option. If I guess you're probably right. You know, I guess that this is probably better because courage is really more for initiation type of fights, and you're not going to be trading that much in lane with courage probably. So you're probably right. You're probably right. I'm really not in love with that mastery overall, but it probably is the best thing with Braum. Okay, so as far as your build, it looks pretty good. Redemption plus Locket, you know, tried and true, always good on almost every support. So I like that you rushed that. I do like the Ruby Sightstone. I have switched my stance on this since 7.9. I do think that upgrading to Eye of Equinox is definitely worth it now. Those quest rewards are quite strong. But more importantly, that gives you an extra bit of sustain in lane, which I think is going to be very important for both you and Ezreal. Having more of those charges is good. And it also gives you a lot more gold over time if you upgrade it. So, you know, I used to be an advocate for Ruby Sightstone, and it is nice to get the lower activation time on the Redemption and the Locket. But at this point, I think I would just go Eye of the Equinox. I think those quest rewards really just kind of tip this over the top. I mean, you get an extra 300 shield, basically, with this to start fights, which is pretty good later into a game. So, this build's still okay. It's still okay. But, you know, overall, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. But you may want to go Eye of Equinox first, and then go into the Redemption and the Locket. But this is pretty good. Another option that I highly recommend is to go for Knight's Vow. Now, this item is really strong. Like, the more that I've played this on tanks, the more impressed that I've become. Because that damage mitigation is a huge deal. It basically, you know, transfers the 12% damage from somebody like your Ezreal. And because there's going to be some things that you can't block, right, in this matchup. Like, you can't block the Lux laser. You can't block a Vi ult with your shield. I don't believe. No, I'm pretty sure you can't. Block a Vi ult with your shield. So, you know, there's just going to be stuff. People are going to get hit by stuff. Probably your Ezreal is going to get hit by a lot of stuff. I imagine who it's going to focus out. They might focus out Ziggs. But either way, having that extra 12% damage mitigation effectively by transferring the damage over to you is a really huge deal. So I think that I would highly recommend this in most matchups, and especially that one. And it's really great with Braum. I mean, it gives you the health that you want, and it gives you armor that you want. So it's just a really good bargain, really good extra damage mitigation. And the healing is very nice, too. If you throw this on a Ziggs, on Ezreal even, it's pretty good. It gives you a lot of healing throughout a fight. So it basically gives you 12% of their like spell vamp and lifesteal for them. Like, the damage that they do heals you for that 12%. So it's quite a lot of healing throughout a fight. So I think that this is very strong. So I would definitely recommend getting it. Now, I have heard a rumor that in the future they might remove this health regeneration and they might make it build out of a Kindle gem for maybe like 1 more or 100 more gold or something like that, and give it 10% cooldown reduction. That would be absolutely perfect. But as is, it's still really good, so I would highly recommend fitting this in there somewhere. I'm not sure where. I think definitely after Redemption and Locket, but you might even want to get it earlier than that. Like, you might be able to go something like Redemption into that before you get Locket. I'm not sure. But I would definitely get it after Redemption and Locket. For sure. Now, Gargoyle is nice, but I think it's a little overkill on the tankiness for you. Like, typically, users that want Gargoyle are people who are going to, you know, dive right into 5 people and try to start a fight. So something like a Nautilus, maybe, who's hooking into 5 people, and is just going to take, like, an obscene amount of a beating on an initiation. And I just don't see that happening. I think most of the time you should probably just be peeling, right? So you're going to be peeling for Ezreal, peeling for Ziggs, and you guys, I imagine your team comp's going to be hang out, siege, poke, just throw bombs and Ezreal Qs until they jump into you to try to start a fight, probably with Vi or maybe a Riven Flash or something like that. So you're probably going to be kiting back and peeling rather than initiating. And Gargoyle Plate doesn't really offer any team utility. Like, it makes you very tanky for, 4 seconds. It basically makes you invulnerable for 4 seconds and gives you some really nice defensive stats, but it doesn't help your team out. So whereas Knight's Vow does basically block an additional 12% damage from both magic and physical damage. So that's extremely valuable on your target. So I'd highly recommend that. Another thing that I'm not a huge fan of is Spirit Visage here. And the reason is you don't have any innate healing. You're going to benefit some off of Redemption, but it doesn't even apply to shielding. It's just healing. So it's not going to give you anything extra for Locket. It's not going to give you anything extra for the Stone Plate activation. It just doesn't have any synergy with your kit. And I assume you got this because, you just want the health, magic resist, and cooldown reduction, probably. And if that's the case, there's a couple other options I would recommend. Number one, I would probably try to get maybe the Abyssal Scepter here. The new Abyssal Scepter. Gives you everything you want there. It's got the health. Now, it has a little bit less health, which is true. But it's got the health, it's got the magic resist, it's got the cooldown reduction. But it does give extra 10% damage to people on your team. And you've got a Ziggs, and you got a Bard. And both of those are going to be doing some significant damage. Now, I'm not sure what this Bard middle is going to be doing. He might be going like AD Bard or something. I don't know. Something wacky. But even just giving Ziggs an extra 10% damage could be a really big deal. What was his overall damage? It's pretty high. Okay, yeah, he is going AP. So yeah, it would help both of these people out tremendously if you gave them 10% more damage. And you're going to be in the middle of combat fighting, and so I think that having that extra 10% is a big deal. Like I said, you're going to get a little bit less health. 450 health to... So you're getting 150 less health, which is a big deal. That's something that's definitely important to recognize. But you do get 10% more, or you do get 10 more magic resist, rather. And you get this. I would definitely trade 150 health for giving 10% more damage to two of your highest damage dealing champions on your team. Okay, so the actual effect range is 700, so the indicator is not accurate. But yeah, that's one option. Another option, if you want some more magic resist, could be to run like a Mikhail's Crucible or something like that. It's kind of weird on Bard because you don't have any extra plus shielding and healing. But that would apply to your Locket, and that would apply to your Redemption. So it would at least buff those up quite a lot when you activate those. And most importantly, it gives you that cleanse effect. So if you're worried about Vi, engaging, you can cleanse off a Vi ult. You can cleanse a Lux Q off of somebody. So the cleanse would have a lot of effect, a lot of power to it, and it would still give you a little bit more magic resist, although it doesn't give you any health. So, it's typically not something you would see on tanky champions, but occasionally you will see it on some tanks just for this. So, that could be something valuable if someone's just constantly getting hit by Lux Qs, or the Vi is just going on your Ziggs every time and just murdering him, then that could be a good option. So that's a little more rare, a little more weird, but if you find yourself with some excess tankiness, if you're just not dying a lot, that could be a decent option. I think Abyssal's probably your best bet, but that is something that's on the table. I would definitely substitute something out for Spirit Visage, like probably Abyssal. And Eye of the Equinox, as I explained before, can help you with healing in lane if you get poked out a lot. I would also finally favor Exhaust in this matchup, and the reason is they don't have anything that has a ton of healing that you really need Ignite for. They don't have a Mundo or a Swain, Vlad, Soraka, anything like that. So you don't need it from that sort of tactical end. But also, you don't have a lot of kill threat in lane, I don't think. I don't imagine that you're going to be able to kill them a lot in lane, because you have Ezreal. So if you don't have kill pressure, then Exhaust scales much better into the lane. So that Exhaust is going to be really, really useful late game, particularly for Riven. Yeah, she does a lot of damage. So she gets to be 15 and 8. So you need that against things like Riven, Kha'Zix, Fiora, all sorts of really high burst damage champions. You need to have an exhaust later in the game. So I would only take Ignite if you have kill threat. If you're going to kill somebody in the first 10 minutes in your lane, take Ignite. Otherwise, exhaust just scales much, much better as the game goes on. Unless you need it for those specific tactical purpose that I mentioned, if they have a ton of healing on their team. Okay, so let's talk about the pregame really quick. So I don't have a lot to say about this, and we'll jump right in. You're probably going to lose this lane. Miss Fortune's going to scale harder than your Ezreal does. Miss Fortune's going to be able to bully you out early with the Karma. Karma could potentially scale harder than you if she gets the correct itemization with shielding and healing. Fortunately, she doesn't. She doesn't get a Mikhail's, so her shields are going to be pretty weak. It looks like she's out of position a lot. She died 13 times. But in theory, you're just going to get beaten up on all fronts in this lane. So you're at least going to lose the early games. I would definitely try to soak hits from Karma, try to get her to use Qs on you, upgrade your Relic Shield for that extra healing. Consider getting a couple of Reju beads early. One of them can build into your Redemption, the other one can build in a Knight's Vow. So that's something, of interest that you might consider. You might want to get a refillable here. I don't usually advocate for refillable, but you're going to be getting hit so much, or you should be getting hit so much from Misfortune Qs and Karma Qs that, just anything that's going to help give you some extra regeneration is going to help. You can try to roam and get kills on Lux with Bard in the mid game if you want. The problem is if you're pushed in, you can't really roam that well, so we'll see how that goes down, but that is an option. Lux is very vulnerable to getting ganked. You kind of have a wacky team comp. Honestly, I'm not sure how this is going to go down. I imagine that your best bet is going to be just to siege and just have Bard just toss Qs at him, Ezreal toss Qs, and Ziggs just toss Qs and just siege him down. Like, you don't have a very good split push comp. Aatrox might be able to split later in the game, but he's your smite, and it's not really good to have your smite split because then they could rush Baron. So I think your best bet is probably just to sit there and siege them. And then when they try to engage on you with a Vi, most likely, or maybe a Riven Flash, they could also hit you with Lux Qs. But when they try to do that, then that's when you ult and you go to work and start peeling for people. So that's how I think it's probably going to go down. Now, once again, you are Gold 2 here, but this is a flex game just for viewers out there, so I'm not really sure. I mean, we see that in terms of solo queue type of stuff, you've got up to a Platinum 2 Aatrox on your team, and they have some level 30s and like low silvers. It's really kind of a mix in flex, so we're not really sure what to expect. Let's go ahead and get in there and see what we've got. How was that intro? Is that pretty good? That's pretty good. A little bit longer than usual, but I had a bit more to say about the op.gg than I typically do. Okay. We're getting in here. So this is the last day of 7.9. 7.10 just released today, but I had already loaded up this replay before the switch, so I was able to open it at the last minute. Books has been very patient with me in getting the second replay to him. So I've had a crazy, a lot of school stuff going on at the end of the semester. If you're new to the channel, I do teach persuasive writing classes at a major public university in the United States. So I am a professor of sorts, just without the money or the prestige, really. I'm a part-time lecturer. But I do teach college-level students. So anyways, May's always a crazy time of the year, as everyone, does their finals. And there's not a final in my class, but they have a final essay they turn in. Anyways. Okay, so we're just fast-forwarding through this. Almost got some good stuff there. That's a sweet-looking skin. I like that. I would like to play Bard more. I know people request him a lot. I think he can be really good in certain matchups. Huh. Well, this is not going down like I thought it would. They're just giving you this lane. I would get up there. Get up there. They're giving you the lane. Like, Karma, they're not really harassing at all. Yeah, there you go. Toss some Qs. Try to hit the Misfortune if you can. I know she's going to be hard to hit, but yeah. That's fine. If she's using all of her stuff on you, that's good. It's really hard as a melee support because you can't walk up and push the lane very much, or you're gonna eat a bunch of harass. And Braum doesn't have any wave clear. There you go. But that's good. You're trying to get up there and sneak in some autos. Okay, wow. You're pushing them in. I don't understand how that's possible, but okay. Alright, let's see here. I'll just roll with it. Try to get a couple of hits in here if they're backing up. Keep this pushing in. Now they were a little late to lane, so you know, it's a pretty safe assumption Vi's topside if she hasn't come down here yet. You know, if they don't going straight from red to bot lane is really weird, especially for Vi. But they could do that. But the fact they're not down here, you know, you probably have an extra minute and a half or so before she would rotate back down here. So, in other words, you can push in without much repercussions, most likely. But it's hard to push. I mean, Braum doesn't have any wave clear, so. Pushing's very, very important. I've really come to respect that a lot more over the last, you know, month or so. Pushing is very, very important. Good. Fast forward this just a little bit. Yeah, it's probably, it looks like it's just going to be a farm off. You can't really get that aggressive with him. I mean, you're doing about all you can. You can't really, like, push the wave or do much aggressive because you've got Ezreal on your team and Braum doesn't have any wave clear, so. Which is okay. I mean, this is better than I thought it was going to be. Like, they should be pushing you in much heavier than this. Karma's just really mismanaging her mana. Maybe she doesn't have meditation or something. I'm not really sure what's up with that. Okay. Alright, Riven's got a kill. That's not good. Ezreal's about out of mana, so you definitely can't fight here. Stand in front. There you go. Yeah, you've got full health, so you're just going to have to soak Qs for this Ezreal. You're going to have to just soak Karma Qs while he farms, which sucks, but he's just not going to be able to farm otherwise. I mean, he's Ezreal. I know you watch my stream sometimes. Everyone knows how I feel about Ezreal. Not good. Don't play Ezreal. That's. I'll give you the TLDR. Don't play Ezreal in solo queue. Okay, unless you're like challenger. What? What? Why didn't she run? Okay. Yeah, just flash, just run. Just run. Keep running. Yeah, I would stay around for a little. Did Riven? Okay, Riven left. This is rough. Well, they don't have any mana left though. Okay, that's a good shield. Oh, hop to him. There you go. Yeah. Okay, time to leave. Time to leave. Run. Run. Just don't look back. Just run. If he wants to die, he can die. Just, you need it back right now. You're like one auto. One Q. Yeah, just leave him. Ping him back. You need to be pinging him and just say, dude, just give it up. Just stop. Like, they're going to push into your tower. Because you can sit here and try to, like, keep holding it, but you're going to miss a wave any way you cut it, anytime you back. That's just the nature of this matchup. And the fact that you got ganked by Riven. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, so, how far down in CS are you? Oh, he's actually up. What? She's missing so, like, you just lost, like, 10 CS of this tower, and you're still up a ton. Your wave is. Okay. What's... Bard's doing his thing. Now, Karma hasn't bought yet, so... The Lux is going off. It's not good. Okay, so you should notice that Lux is on a killing spree, so you're definitely going to need some magic resist. I think you did buy quite a bit. Alright, well, you've got the Ezreal Curse going here, so he's up, you know, 13 CS, even after the gank, even after getting pushed in a tower, because Misfortune's just missing so many. Yeah, that's a really hard matchup for Ziggs. Riven's just gonna... Although he's keeping up in CS, that's good. But yeah, so just, you still can't fight. So what I mean by the Ezreal Curse, so he's going to come back with a Tyr and like a Sheen or something, and she has the BF sword. So they're still going to be able to beat you, even though you're ahead in lane in terms of CS. She's just better right now, because she's got a BF sword. So he still has to power up. Okay, good block. A little more action here, but yeah, you're probably going to get zoned. What did you buy? Sightstone? Okay, I approve of that. Good, Reju bead. Alright, that's exactly what I was suggesting in the pregame, so. You need some wards around the river. I would at least put a ward here. Where did you put your wards? Here and here. You don't need one here yet. This Karma's not really leveraging the bushes that well, and you're kind of holding it in the middle of the lane, so I would definitely wait. You don't have to drop your wards immediately once you get back. Just if Karma's in a bush, then you can ward it, you know what I'm saying? So just conserve your wards a little bit. I think definitely one right there. Like, you just saw the Vi top, but before then we really didn't know where she was. Okay, good. So Karma just kind of lost her mind. Let me see that again. Just really far up. Good. I would have probably ulted her there. Okay, so Ignite paid off. I have no idea why she was at. She's just really far out of position. Yeah, I would have ulted her there as soon as you jumped on top. I would have gone for the ult because she did have flash and she did have exhaust, so she could have gotten away. But if you knock her up with the ult, she may not get to flash. Because that knock-up from the ult... Let me see. Knock-up from the ult plus triggering your passive is going to be able to lock her out. Let me look at that one more time. Did you get the stun before she flashed? Ah, his cat hair. Okay. No, she died before you triggered the stun, so she just straight didn't flash. So yeah, I would have knocked her up. And then that would have given you a chance after she lands from that knockup. Then you're going to be able to get the stun on her probably before she flashes. So you guys got a little lucky there that she didn't just flash away or exhaust. So I would have definitely ulted there when you W'd in. Okay, good. That's probably going to get pinked. I mean, maybe not. She rushed Frost Queen, so she doesn't have a Sightstone, but okay, your team's getting pushed in. Okay, good, that's a good one. Alright, what'd you get? Like I said, I probably would have just gone for Eye of Equinox here in 7.9. In 7.8, I would do exactly what you're doing, but with the new quest rewards, I would go for Eye of the Equinox. It'll help you out with your healing early on. And it's just a pretty good bargain, especially for that quest reward. It's the least powerful quest reward, I think, but it's still like 300 health at level, you know, 9 or 10, which is not insignificant. Okay, good. Okay, great, excellent. Good stop. Good. Okay, good. I was about to say, yeah, don't kill her. She's 100% dead. Okay, good. Okay, good stun. Good. Guess pretty good. Do you have a sweeper? Good. Wow. Alright. Massacred him. Ziggs is getting butchered though. Yeah, just FYI, people, don't take a squishy mage top lane in this meta. It's just not going to work out very well for you most of the time. Fighters are very strong right now. Like, the reason that mages work middle is because it's a short lane. A lot of times, they can just escape and hide behind their tower a lot. With the long lane and top lane, then you just can't pull it off a lot of the time. Unless they have, like, some significant speed boosts. Like, maybe a Cassiopeia up there, maybe. But even that is going to be rough. Okay. And speed this up again a little bit here. She got redemption. Okay, good. Oh, you should be pinging dragon right now. And you should be running straight to dragon. Like, I guess maybe you can push this in and then go do it, but I would get over there quickly. At least ward over this wall right here. Okay, good. Kind of the safety ward. Now you see Lux, so you need to watch out. Block that. Okay, good. Watch out for that Lux laser, though. Oh god, here it comes. Does she not have it? No, she doesn't have her laser. Okay. Okay, he's jump to him, jump to him, jump to him, jump to him. I think if you walked right there, you would have been in range to jump over at him. And I think it would have been a good move to do that, because even if he dies there, you know you've got trailers coming, you've got this guy, you had 2 more people coming down, so even if you couldn't quite save him, I think you wouldn't have died. So I would have jumped to him and given it a try there. So you've almost got this full already, even though you haven't upgraded to tier 2. I mean, it's basically almost like a free 300 health, pretty much, that has the potential to get regenerated a little bit in fights. That also gives you a bunch of extra gold. So I mean, really, like, the Eye of Equinox is like an 800 health item, to some extent, because of that shield. So I do like Ruby Sightstone, but, you know, it's only 500 health, whereas Equinox is going to be pretty close to 800. Equinox also has 10% cooldown reduction, which is roughly equal to the 20% item reduction, I think. Not equal, but it's similar. Like, they're both good, and he's dead. Yeah, leave him, leave him, leave him. Okay, good. Good flash. They are buffing Equinox a little bit in this patch, actually. It just got released today. Just by making it easier to trigger the passive. By giving you extra range on it, which is nice. So anyways, I do like the old school. I mean, this is exactly what I would say to build in 7.8, so it's still good, but I think the new quests just make it so compelling that you have to upgrade the gold items. And the sooner the better, because that gives you more gold, number 1, but then number 2, it also gives you more map pressure by having more wards. Which isn't as necessary at lower elos, as I talked about in several videos that I'm sure you watched, as it is in Challenger, but, you know, extra wards, it's always good. The reason why, if you haven't watched it, or other people that are watching this that haven't watched like my itemization video, is because people don't fight you for wards in lower elos as much, and you can only have 3 down at a time. And so a lot of times, you know, you just don't need that 4th ward very early in the game, as you do in Challenger. You get it later, you know, when you get the rubies, for what I advocated in 7.8, but you just don't need it, like, right away, like pros and challengers do. who constantly have to fight for vision. Anyways. Okay. So I'm gonna... Well, we got a fight going. I was about to speed it up. Okay. What, okay, so what's the game state here? You got your Ninja Tabi. That's probably a good buy. You might want to... That's probably a good buy. Mercury Treads are also pretty good here. Because Lux is so big. Yeah, you need some more wards down. Your team has no wards. I feel like they're ahead right now. Even though your team's technically ahead in kills. Who has the kills on your team? It's just 8. Bard. What is he getting? Okay, that's pretty baller. Shield him, shield, shield it, shield. Okay, good. Let him die. Alright, Dragon's 1 minute. What kind of dragon? War dragon? Okay, yeah, y'all need some wards. This is down, right? You need some direction here. You're just kind of wandering around. Try to ward like this and just like create a little kill zone here. You can't really kill him with Braum, but you need to get some eyes on these people. Yeah, because right now people are just like wandering around getting caught and killed by stuff. Okay, go on her. Go on her. Bard was coming. Is that yours or theirs? Okay, they don't have a redemption, so that was yours. I don't know about that redemption. Alright, go. Okay, good. Okay, are these your wards? I'm gonna assume they're different looking. I'm not sure which wards you're using. You don't really need vision here. Like, you don't need to watch your own jungle, though. That's too defensive. Like, your team is a little bit behind, but like, I would at least be warding these, like, river entrances. Okay, you're working Ruby. I think Ruby Sidestone's your next buy. Okay, jump. Block that. Okay, good. It's probably a little late on the ribbon. She's scary. Be ready to shield. Okay, so I'm gonna say more aggressive vision mid-game. Give team a mission. To give them something to do, just so they're not wandering around. Like, just tell them, hey, let's go get this tower. Let's go work top tower. Or, you know, let's try to catch them out when they're trying to rotate for dragon. You know, that type of thing. Because you're giving up another dragon. That's only their second one, but yeah, they're just out macroing you pretty hard here. Like, they're beating you on rotations. They have 2 dragons now. Now, they are a little bit ahead, but, like, if you had vision, you could catch people out while they're trying to rotate to get these things. Like, you don't need 4 people up here to get a red, you know? There you go. Yeah, jump to him, make a play. What, is he AFK or what? Like, yeah, go. Ah, I think you guys could have done that. Okay, you saw her, so you need to be careful. Go on her. Go on her. Q her. Okay, I'm just gonna say be a bit more aggressive in general. Go for skirmishes. Hey, look at my items. Okay, you got your ruby, null magic. Probably go and lock it. It's good. Ezreal's out farming Misfortune big time. So that we got that going for us. She's still about even on items though. You got a slight advantage, but is she trying to? Okay. Okay, good. Okay, good. Alright, good peeling. Yeah, Riven's definitely public enemy number 1. Does he really not see her? Guess not. Alright, good. Gonna speed this up a little bit. Alright, I assume you're gonna go back and buy. Okay, good.
Rampage.
Got him out. Yeah, you need vision. And you need to sweep this stuff too. Like they have too much vision. Like, you need to constantly put pinks in, like, this bush and just use your sweeper over here. You upgrade your sweeper, right? Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you've got some on this bottom river, but now Baron is kind of the thing. Yeah, you're pretty far out of position. Yeah, you need to be ready for the Baron. It's, what, 27 minutes in? Let's see how it goes, and I'll write this down. No, that's they're all gonna die. That's dumb. But you guys got pretty lucky there. They basically had a 3v5 because your Bard was dead and you were bottom on a ward right here. They knew you were at the Wraiths or the Raptors or whatever they are now. They just really goofed that up. But they could have probably had that Baron a lot easier. Yeah, you guys just need to get out. It's definitely turned into a fiesta. Alright. So, when Baron's up past 25 minutes, especially if they have a really fed AD character like Riven that can do a lot of damage to Baron, you need to have vision on the Baron. Like, there's really no reason to come down here on this side of the map. Like, past 25 minutes, you know, earlier than 20, I would say you want to keep your vision on the bottom side so you can secure dragons, but Dragon wasn't coming up for another like 2 minutes or something when you went down there. And they can do Baron potentially, and you know that at least Riven's on the top side because she just killed Bard right here. So they're going to be thinking 4v5, and then they're going to come in and sweep Baron, and if there's no wards on Baron, then they're going to go for it, probably. Especially if there's no vision in the area. So, I'm going to say prioritize Baron area for vision beyond 25 minutes. Okay. What's going on now? Okay, so now you're hanging out over here. Now you're getting the vision in. This is where you want. Don't ward this. This vision is too shallow. It only shows this very small hallway here. You always want to ward like here, and then that'll show you this entire like walkway where people are moving in. Like you won't see them if they walk specifically into this bush later, but it's much better to have vision of this whole hallway. You could potentially, if you think it's safe enough, even ward down here to see when they're coming. But this is definitely like what you want. And then here you want it. Okay, well they got another dragon somehow. Oh, Aatrox is dead, so yeah, they're crushing you on macro right now. He needs to run. Well, that was weird, but okay. Jump to him, jump to him, jump to him. Okay. Shield, yeah. Stay shield, stay on him. Shielding, okay, good. Alright, good. Good disengage. Good redemption. For safety. Okay, jump to him. That's a bit hardcore. But you go with it. Yeah, try to get those stuns. Okay. Yeah, but for vision in this area, you want to ward here so that you get vision of people coming down this ramp too. Like this will give you vision of all of this like through here, but it doesn't show you the ramp at all. So right here, you get to see the ramp also and all of this. So it's a little bit better vision coverage, a little more, slightly more optimal ward placement could make a big difference. And there's some weird things with like that. Yeah, see, this won't even show you any of this because this weird like contour of the rocks. Yeah, Bard's just dying a lot. I mean, you need to give your team something to do. So you need to clear vision. Okay, good choice. But yeah, like, Riven's just running around your jungle, and she's the best skirmisher by far in this game. She's so fed that if she catches anyone out in the jungle, they're dead. Lux could also just be hiding in any number of bushes, and if you walk in that bush, then you're dead. So yeah, you don't even have a pink on the map right now, I don't think. Like, you need a pink on the map at all times. And I would highly encourage your teammates to also get a pink. Just say, hey, just put a pink on the map somewhere. It doesn't even matter if it's random. Like, if a teammate, even if they just put a pink right here, that's something. You know, like, that does give you some vision. It would let you know if Riven was, like, trying to hide in that bush, you know? If everybody on your team had a pink ward right now, you'd have 5 more wards. Even if they put them in obscure areas that aren't going to get checked. Like, even if they put it, like, here. You know? Now, not everyone's going to do it, but if you suggest, hey, let's all get a pink ward, Riven's cutting us up in the jungle, just put it in a bush somewhere. If you just type that, like, maybe, even if just 1 or 2 other people do it, that's a win. So there will be some people say, no, man, I don't ward, I need that extra 75 gold. But there will be people that will actually get a ward if you just say it. They just aren't thinking about it. Yeah, just run. Hop to Bard. Hop to Bard. I guess. Yeah, get in there. Get in there. Yeah, Yeah, y'all are winning it now. Yeah. So definitely pink, sweet, keep this area, and I would get your team to bait Baron. They don't have any blue trinket. They have one blue trinket from Riven. But they can only do that once. So I would, you know, ward here, sweep all of this, pink Baron, and just wait in a bush. Yes, this game's not unfolding. Like, your team is not playing to their strengths at all, but you're winning the game. Like, you should be, like, warding your flanks and just sieging it somewhere. Well, you're telling them to be careful. That's good. But we do see them all bot. Like, you see 2 of them here. So it's pretty easy. They just lost their mind. I don't know, maybe they're raging at each other. There's just like 3 of them randomly running bottom. So y'all are kind of lucking out a little bit here that they're not... You know, I think they have maybe some newer players or just people that aren't really thinking about the macro game at all that are kind of compensating for this Riven, you know, who's doing very well. Okay, but yeah, you need to be giving them that mission. You want to be giving them that mission, right? So just give them something to do so that they quit running around and just randomly die. Like this Bard, I mean, he got the kill on her, but... You question mark that? Oh, Riven. I mean, he does a lot of damage right now, but... No, manual. Okay. Your team's not grouped, so be careful. Yeah, ping them out of there. Okay, they backed. Good. Alright, good. Okay, so y'all are getting the objectives now. Out. Oh wow, okay. She's just lost her mind. I would probably come down here and get this tower. This is the easiest one, and there's a wave right here. Yeah, especially since you lost Ziggs. Just give it up. Tell your team to come down here right now. Ping them back, tell them to come over here. You're not going to siege this, probably, against a Misfortune and a Lux and a Karma. This Karma... Well, she did get a Ruby Side Stone. She got a Morellonomicon, which is weird, but the rest of her items are alright. Okay, good. Well, good staying in there and fighting with him, but bad outcome. Yeah, you need to get him out of there. Okay, you're trying. Someone's trying to get him out of there. I mean, he's big, but he can still get ganged up and killed. He does have some pretty good itemization. A lot of lifesteal. And that. I mean, I don't know what. You need to try to get your people together here. Like, I know you're pinging them back off of stupid stuff some, but I'm just gonna say, shot call more. Like, you can't let them get away with that without hearing from you, you know? Like, in a polite way. If they say they're gonna rage out if you don't, like, stop trying to shot call, then that's fine. You can dial it back then, but, you know, you don't want to be too domineering, but you want to give people, like, good ideas, instead of just leaving them to their own devices. Because, you know, if you truly deserve to climb, you know, well, I don't like the word deserve, but if you want to climb, then that's just what you have to do. You have to become a leader, you know, on the team. You can't let them make poor decisions like that without hearing about a good alternative. You tell them, rein that Ziggs in and say, hey Ziggs, let's just go siege this tower. And just say, I think their skirmishing is a lot better than ours. Let's go siege some towers. Dang, that hitbox is crazy. It didn't even look like it was going to hit the Ziggs. Yes, now they have the advantage on you. Primarily from where they caught that Ziggs. Ziggs is your main wave clear, so if he goes down, they can just, like, mow right through your towers. You don't really have anyone else that wave clears. So... Alright. Oh, too bad you can't interrupt her. That was good, though. Alright. Pushing it. I mean, no one can really fight Riven, so... Yeah, I guess you have to send 2 or 3 people at her. Red team's inhibitor has been destroyed. Yeah, you just run, just get him out. Jump to one of these minions and run or something. Heal him if you can. Shield it, shield it, shield it. Okay, good. This is kind of a thing about, like, you don't have, about Braum. Like, I like Braum in certain compositions with peeling, but you don't really have a way to, like, lock down this Riven. You know, like, you can hit her with a Q, but your teammates have to hit her 3 or 4 more times, and they just might all be dead by the time that happens. And if she gets a Quicksilver Sash, which she doesn't have, thank God, but if she got, like, a Mercurial Scimitar instead of this Gargoyle Stoneplate, you guys might be in big trouble. Or if she got a Death's Dance or something instead of a Bloodthirster. You know, like, her itemization is not that great. So if she got a Quicksilver Sash, like, the only thing you're going to be able to do is get your very delayed stun on her, and then she can just QSS out of it. QSS is Quicksilver Sash for newer viewers that might be watching. What it does is it removes all crowd control abilities. And it would give him more lifesteal, which it's a really, really good item on Riven. And once you upgrade it to the Mercurial Scimitar. So, Gargoyle Stoneplate is just bad on Riven. It blocks, it like negates all of her damage, so. It does give her 80/80 resistances, but I think if she went Death's Dance instead of Bloodthirster, and then if she went Maud Mortis is okay, I guess, but I mean she could optimize her items, is what I'm saying. Definitely Mercurial instead of Gargoyles, and maybe just a GA instead of a Maud Mortis. And she'd just be unstoppable at that point. Right now, y'all can kind of deal with her. You have to kill her, though. I don't know what you can specifically do as Braum to get her. Like, all you can do is just when she dives, just try to peel her. You don't have exhaust for her, either. Ooh, okay, well, y'all lucked out. She just really goofed right there. She goofed big time. Okay, good. Okay, he's got the QSS. That's what that animation is, if anyone's wondering. Because he has Mercurial Scimitar. And he removed the slow and ran at her. So his itemization is a lot better than Riven's. If she had a Quicksilver Sash, I don't know what caught her, but whatever it was, she wouldn't have died. Okay. Yeah, y'all don't really have a lot going on. It's super risky, but I guess if they're ace, that's okay. They don't have any globals. I guess that's fine. How long on... Okay, so Elder's up. There. Yeah, instead of going for that tower, it is cool to kill the tower, but I would have gone over here and set... Like, I would have gotten wards and set up this dragon. Like, you guys might get it anyways, but you need to have better vision coverage, and you need more control wards. Like, I haven't seen a control ward in a long time. What do you have item-wise? Yeah, I discussed this in the pre-show. I think getting, definitely Abyssal... well, definitely Knight's Vow, like 110% Knight's Vow, probably instead of Gargoyle, and then Abyssal instead of Spirit Visage. Yeah, you got caught out there. I guess you're trying to ward. You really can't go anywhere without your team at this point in the game. It's just too important. The timers are probably like 50 seconds right now. Okay, good hit. Oh, did she get a QSS? Oh. Oh, she heard me. She heard me. It's magic. She heard me back in time. Okay, so now y'all are in a bit more trouble. What'd she sell to get that? Oh, she sold exactly what I said. She sold Gargoyle and got a QSS, Mercurial Scimitar, which is exactly what she should have done in the first place. So. Okay, well, this is going to be difficult to deal with. Now if she just sells that Maw and gets a GA. She needs to run. And... okay, she made it. Bard's not gonna kill her. No, but like the only person that can kill her right now is Aatrox. If he has his passive up. Okay, how long on Baron? A minute 30. Okay, so you need to be around Baron. Okay, so I'll say stay close to team at 30 plus. Only ward. Safe areas for OBJs. Objectives. Yeah, there's really no need to go like super deep toward this because you're not like defending anything down here. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no dragons. All of these towers are done, so it's an unnecessary risk to go in deep toward that.
Shut down.
All right, y'all four-manned the ribbon. That's fine. So there's nothing else to do on the map. You got 70 seconds. Baron's up in 30. You could go make a run at this Baron. Or yeah, this is a good option too. Yeah, you got Lux also. This should be definitely an inhibitor. Yeah, just prioritize keeping the Aatrox up. Yeah, don't chase. Keep Aatrox. Keep up Aatrox. I mean, your shield doesn't really do anything to Riven, but if you can just get a stun on her. Oh, do y'all just end it here? Okay. Now, I didn't see how much you were doing this, but I would just say, I think that you could have done this more. Prioritize Aatrox most. So I think you did that some in the game, but I think you were still kind of hanging back. You were either chasing people in some of those fights, or you were trying to peel for the Ezreal. He just doesn't matter. Like, the only person that matters on your team at that point, like, at a certain point, is Aatrox. So once Aatrox gets, you know, like, 15 kills or something, you just have to keep him alive. So just jump in there with him, and I think you did that some. I'd have to go back and watch the whole thing, which I'm not going to do right now. But I think you did that some. But just, whoever is just taking over the game, just switch gears and help that person out. So even though, like, Ezreal is okay, you know, Frozen Mallet Ezreal, like, how safe do you need to be, man? Even though he's kind of taken over the game, or he's doing okay, you need to go for the Aatrox, because it's the person who's doing the big heavy hitting. But anyways, overall, really good, really good. I think that your overall decision making is really solid in fights. I think just it was the macro. And the biggest thing is more control wards, more vision, and tell your teams what to do. So you need to give them a mission. Give them something to do, because that way, if you don't, they're just going to run around like that Bard was doing and just get caught and killed, or Ziggs is doing. People just zone out and go on autopilot. They're just listening to some music, you know, just farming or whatever, and then they're just not even aware that Riven's just going around murdering everybody. So I think that just giving them that mission and giving them, just kind of cluing them in, just saying, oh yeah, we should go do this. Even if it's just like securing vision and area and baiting, I think is probably a pretty good choice. Okay, so okay, good. So I said that several times. Be more aggressive in denying vision and controlling key zones. So, like, I think you pinged Baron when or Dragon when it was coming up. I can't remember. If you didn't, then you should have. But be the first one there. Like, get there early and set up wards, you know, 45 seconds early, and get a pink ward and tell your team to get around that area. Just make sure that you get that Dragon. Or in that mid game, go set up vision around Baron around 25 to 30 minutes and just wait in that area that I was talking about. I mean, this is the easiest way to win a game in the mid game. Is you just come in here, sweep all of this, put a pink on Baron, ward here, and just stand here. And then if you see them coming up this way, kill them right over this wall. Or if they're coming up this way, kill them over this wall. Most people, especially L'Oreals, just run right up this tunnel of death here but some of the, you know, more sneaky people will try to come around this way. But if you have this warded also, you can also go over that wall and kill them. So just direct your team to come over here and just bait Baron. Because they have to go look. They have to. Like, what are they going to do? Not look? Either they're going to give you the Baron and, like, try to run it up middle or, like, try to get one of these side lanes. Or they're going to face check and die. Like, they just don't have a good option. They had one blue trinket on Riven. So they can blue trinket the Baron. You all just run over there and kill the trinket. And then they're back to square one again where, okay, they're not doing Baron. You just sit here and wait for, like, 20 seconds. If they don't show any interest, then you just take the Baron. That's the easiest way to win games, is you just get vision, clear everything else out, and just wait on people to come up here and just kill them over and over and over again, because they can't do anything about it. So that's the easiest way to create a mission. I mean, something else would be you could have, like, controlled this zone and just told a couple of people to wait in a bush with you here and just rotate around and catch people out. Maybe invade them in their red jungle. You guys weren't really strong enough to do that, though, at, like, you know, 12 to 20 minutes. So that wasn't really on the table, but you should at least try to deny vision and keep wards in this area. But yeah, this was definitely an option for a very long time where you could have gained control of this area and forced them to face check. Alright, I would say just be more aggressive in general during skirmishes. So there were several times where people were like you could have queued them and jumped on them when you had a partner there. And I mean, I guess you were maybe scared of, like, reinforcements coming in. But I think there were times where you could have been a bit more aggressive with Braum to try to, like, initiate some of these fights, particularly around Aatrox. Because you really complement Aatrox quite well, because one of his problems is he can get kited so easily, but Braum makes it very difficult to kite people because he slows for so long and he has that stun built in. So I think just trying to roam around with Aatrox more, just like shadow him, follow him around, and just try to start more fights in the mid-game could have been a good idea. You were following around Ezreal a lot, which is okay, but Ezreal's just not going to do anything for most of the game. So you want to, you know, really prioritize Aatrox. Say prioritize vision around Baron after 25 minutes. So there was one play in particular where they almost got Baron, where you were like roaming down bottom to just try to get a ward, like, around their Raptors when there was no dragon up. Baron was up. It's highly likely they have at least one ward down there somewhere, so they're going to see you do that, and you had no wards on Baron. So that was just a green flag, and they had just killed Bard, like, near the Baron area, so they basically had a 3v5, and they just goofed it up somehow. But yeah, just make sure you're not off sides like that, that you're in the area with the highest priority objective, which is Baron, after 25 minutes. So unless a dragon is, like, spawning in 30 seconds or something, you don't need to be on the bottom side of the map, especially without wards on Baron, and without eyes on any of them. Like, if you don't know where they are, they're probably at Baron. Okay. Okay, so I'll say shot call with more authority. Give your team missions. Stop silliness. Okay, so I've said this before several times, but just give your team something to do. Say, hey, let's go siege this. Hey, help me get vision on this. Hey, let's go do this. Hey, Ziggs, maybe don't be in their jungle like that. Like, just say, hey, Ziggs, we need you. Like, come help me siege this, or something like that. You know, just don't try to stop them from doing stupid stuff, like sitting in their red jungle if you're Ziggs with no vision. You know, you don't have to call whatever they're doing foolish or whatever, but just give them something positive to do. Give them something to work towards, so they're not just zoning out, listening to their music, chilling, or whatever, talking with their roommate. Yeah, stay close to the team, only ward areas that are good for objectives, and prioritize Aatrox. Aatrox more. Try to prioritize your highest threat. Okay, and I think that's going to be it. So overall, pretty good game. I think your micro was pretty good in fights. There were some times when you could be a little bit more aggressive, but I think overall that was pretty solid. It was good shielding, good reaction times for the most part, good plays. I think it was just the macro game, and a lot of that is just from vision. So just denying vision from the enemy much more aggressively, warding around Baron, and shot calling, giving your team something to do, such as baiting Baron after 25 minutes. I think that's a huge thing. And then just prioritizing the Aatrox, like just sort of shifting gears outside of lane and just saying, you know what, we've got an Ezreal, he's doing okay, but we have this Aatrox here who's like 10-3 or whatever. So I'm going to go around with this Aatrox and make some plays. And yeah, I think those are the biggest things. All right, so thank you very much to everyone who's watching, and special thanks to Books again for the generous donation. I really appreciate it. And once again, if you would like a coaching session just like this, just let me know. I do primarily supports, but I have done some coaching sessions for other positions as well. I just recently did a Talon middle and a Twitch bottom coaching session. So those were quite fun. So those aren't necessarily my areas of expertise, middle and AD carry, but I do think about it, I do research it, and I think I give some pretty good advice with it, and I think it's useful to get a different kind of perspective too that I can kind of offer to the mix that maybe other channels can't, kind of the support perspective on other roles. But yeah, so if you're watching this, be sure to check out the other guides. If you want a guide yourself, just email me, thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. We can set that up, just a $20 donation. If you would like to set up a guide, commission a guide, we can do that as well. I have several in the works right now, but there's always room for more. I am going to have to raise the prices on these eventually because they do take a long time. But right now it's just $20 if you want to do that. And yeah, if you want to see me play your favorite champion, we can do that too. Did I not put a... I didn't put a... I didn't put a thumbnail on that. Okay, I need to make sure I do that. But yeah, if you want to... if you want me to play your favorite champion, I played a Scion, or not a Scion, an Urgot support with Ghost Cleanse the other night for a $100 donation. It's usually only 20, but MSW was feeling super generous, so hook me up with that. So I've played like Teemo support, I've played Jinx support, I've played Urgot, I've played more traditional stuff. You know, I played Bard, I played Maokai. Well, Maokai's not traditional, but now he's kind of becoming hot. So I can play whatever you want to see me play and give you some good commentary during the stream for just a $20 donation. Or we can duo if you want to play a support and you want me to AD carry and comment on your support live while we're playing. I can do that too. I've only done that once in the past, but that was an interesting idea. I also do op.gg reviews. Right now they're $5. I'm going to have to raise that to 10 eventually. But I can just do like I did at the first part of this video if you're interested in that. Where I just talk about, you know, just things you could work on in terms of your masteries, your rune page, your builds, your champion selection, stuff like that. Just give you a really quick Google Doc that's about 1 page long, $5. It's a pretty nice little cheap overview of what's going on. Then I can also help with English stuff too. I mean, no one's hit me up with this yet, but this is an option because I do actually teach college-level English. I can help people learn how to write better. So I can help people, like, write cover letters or resumes. I can help people with, like, essays or exams, you know, for college or high school. And I haven't worked out an exact price for that. It probably depends on the project, but I could, you know, help out with that. So if you want help with a big, you know, final essay that you have going on or a big project that you want to write or just anything that uses written English, I can help you out with that. So I can edit stuff, or I can give you more substantive commentary that'll help you create better arguments and do better research. I can help you out with research and stuff like that. I won't, you know, I won't write it for you. I don't do like a paper writing service or anything like that. I think that's unethical. But I will help you become a better writer if you'd like. So I can do private tutoring, that type of stuff, and we could figure out how to set that up as well. But like I said, I don't have a pricing schedule for that. No one has taken me up on that offer yet. But that is an option if that's something that people are interested in, as well as the League of Legends stuff. But anyways, thank you very much. That's going to be it. Hope you enjoyed it. Special thanks again to Books, and everyone, have a wonderful day.